Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is the all-new 2020 Land Rover Defender, and today I'm going to review it for you guys. You know, especially in this black color, this Defender really makes me think it's going to become the new de facto bad guy / government agent SUV in every movie. Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. But first, I'd like your opinion on something.
Okay.
What do you think of my new Land Rover Defender?
It's very much a U vehicle.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Some of my other henchmen didn't like it as much. But I think it's a lot better than the Chevy Tahoes that we used to have. Thank you for your opinion. Bye now. Or should I say, die now.
You didn't even tie me up. Before we begin, I want to thank Jaguar Land Rover of Allentown for allowing me to review this vehicle. For all your Land Rover or Jaguar needs, you can visit them in person in Allentown, Pennsylvania, right off of Tillman Street, or at their website, landroverallentown.com. Starting out up front on the Defender, from the get-go, it's not afraid to show off its off-roading prowess up here. You'll have a front trail cam right below here and parking sensors. This is my favorite feature on the front. Right below the LED headlights, you have these little headlight washers. So if you're off-roading, mud gets on the headlights, you can control it from the interior. That's actually going to spray off the headlights and clear them up. Speaking of the headlights, you get full LEDs with this really cool U-shaped wraparound LED daytime running light, and you'll have LED fog lights as well. You'll have your Defender badge up here and your Land Rover logo. Now, everybody's kind of been split on this new Defender design. I still don't know how I feel about it. I definitely like how it looks from certain angles. I'm just not sure if I kind of like the smooth, rounded front fascia. I think I would have rather it been a little bit more boxy, kind of like the new Bronco. But I still think it's a very aggressive looking SUV. Man, it is really hot outside. Moving underneath the hood, this Defender is powered by an inline 6-liter, making 395 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. That's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now this Defender is also available in a 4-cylinder, and coming next year, it'll also be available in a 2-door configuration, this one obviously being the 4-door. Moving on to the profile of the Defender, you're going to get a parking sensor on the side right here. That's extra helpful if you're off-roading in tight spaces. It'll let you know if you're getting too close to something on the profile. You have what I believe are 20-inch wheels. Thank you, motorcycle. I believe these are 20-inch wheels. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a window sticker for this. Regardless, they're wrapped in 255/60 R20 Goodyear all-terrain tires. And this Defender does not sacrifice substance for its styling. This is actually a functional hood vent on the side right here, and then Defender is spelled out right above that. Another really cool, luxurious feature this car has is when you unlock the vehicle and lock it, the side mirrors fold in. These side mirrors also have cameras on the sides, so you have a 360-degree camera system on this Defender. That's really cool. And then that also ties into another feature we'll get to in a little bit. And then you also have this smoked out turn signal indicator light right there. Now, of course, this Defender does have keyless entry, so all you have to do is hit this button right here. If you have the key, it can be in your pocket. That'll fold the mirror in, and then all you have to do again is hit this, and then that will unlock the vehicle. You also have that on the back doors as well. And then this is one of my favorite recent styling cues on any vehicle. I love this completely floating square in the middle of the back C-pillar right here with just the Land Rover badge in there. I just think that that's so cool. Very unique looking. And then you do have the Alpine windows up here. We'll touch upon that a little bit more once we move to the interior. Let's move to the back though. Moving to the back of the Defender, unquestionably, this is a fantastic design back here. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite angle of the vehicle. It might even be one of my favorite parts of the vehicle. I think they just nailed it with this rear design and the flush, boxy look, really paying homage to the original Defender way back in the day. But moving on, you'll have your recessed taillights back here. You have your spare tire. Now, this being a Jeep Wrangler competitor of sorts, except much more luxurious, I was thinking, how are they going to implement the backup camera on this car? Now, Jeep ran into the issue of them having their license plate right here. So if they put a backup camera there, the tire would obscure it. So what they settled on is putting it in the center lock of that spare tire. That's where their backup camera is. But what Land Rover has chosen to do is to actually put it below the spare tire, right above the license plate. Now you have much better visibility with that as well. I don't know, it's up for debate which one is better, having it in the spare tire or having it down there. Regardless, I think it's very well implemented. You'll have your parking sensors down there, and then you're also going to get a tow hitch on here, towing capacity of 8,201 pounds on this Defender with the V6. Opening it up here, you're going to have a max cargo capacity with the seats folded down 78.8 cubic feet. Moving briefly into the back of the Defender, there's one feature I really wanted to highlight. Now, this does have air suspension. You can control that from up front, but also you can control it from back here. There's two little buttons that you can use. So let's say, you have a lot of stuff in your hands and you want to get it inside the Defender, but you still have it in its off-road configuration. You can actually hit the button right here and it'll automatically lower the air suspension. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It should be picking it up. It's doing it quite fast. And then you can put your stuff in, and then you can raise the suspension of the Defender back up, and then it keeps coming up. I mean, the ground clearance on this thing is crazy. This can get really, really high. You can definitely ford some pretty deep water in this thing. Now, moving inside the Defender, I want to bring back a segment I haven't done in a very long time. Driver's side grab handle check. And now initially you might be going, Isaac, there's no driver's side grab handle on the Defender. I'm so sorry to disappoint you. It will have to go in the no driver's side grab handle category. But that's where you're wrong. This might win the award for the coolest driver's side grab handle I have ever seen in a vehicle, beating out every pickup truck. On the driver's side, there is a handle right next to the turn signal stock, and you can grab it right here and hold on. That is the coolest thing, and it's implemented right into the door. There's kind of a sill, you can grab it. It's textured. It is so cool. I noticed that when kind of tooling around the interior in here. So the Land Rover Defender is officially on the driver's side grab handle check of yes, it has a driver's side grab handle, and I absolutely love how it's implemented on the inside of this. The interior of the Defender perfectly blends being utilitarian and luxurious at the same time. Take, for example, the door panel. You have these like riveted bolts in here, really giving it the off-roady feel, but then at the same time, there's like Alcantara texture right here. You have a Meridian sound system, and some of the buttons on the side panel here only light up when you turn the car on. So that gives it a really cool kind of sleek look on the whole interior. Overall here, one really cool feature on the door I'd like to highlight is when you open the door, there's actually a blind spot sensor for the driver and passenger side. I believe it is also on the back doors. It is also on the back. So when you're opening the door, it can actually tell you if there's something in your blind spot so you don't get hit. So if there's a car coming up really quick and you're getting out of your car, it warns you on the door. That's really neat. That's something that I really hope a lot more cars implement in the future. I'm sure that could prevent a lot of injury and death. Moving into the infotainment screen here, it is just so jam-packed full of features. I still can't figure out how to adjust the climate control fan speed. I mean, it is insane in here. I mean, you can do navigation, of course, FM, XM, all that, but then going into the main menu, you have valet modes, eco data, your 4x4 information, your trailer and towing information, your cameras, all the different camera angles, your traction launch, your wade sensing, so it tells you how high water is up on the car to warn you if you're going too deep in water. So basically, you can really wade this vehicle pretty high, as I mentioned before, with the clearance. I mean, what other car asks you to log into a profile when you get in? I mean, that's so cool. That's how you know it's just filled with features and different settings you can mess with. So cool. Moving into your gauge cluster, it is an all digital screen that's becoming very common nowadays, very configurable. You have buttons on your steering wheel. It's really cool. They light up as well, just like the buttons right here and on the door panel. So it really, really cool overall. The steering wheel, the leather is very comfortable. The screen in here gives you all the traditional data, your tach, your speedometer, miles per gallon, fuel economy, all that stuff. That's all built into there. Very nice. The seats are quite grippy. One really cool thing I really like is inside the center console here, this is actually a cooled freezer. So you can store drinks in here. Like literally, it's cold in here. It's so cool. And you can turn it on how cold you want it. If you don't want the cold air on at all, it won't. But you can actually chill stuff in here. That's really neat if you want to get drinks and stuff. You have a wireless charger right here. And I can't say enough about how much I just love this kind of open design, how it flows through down here, how it flows through the dash. I just think that Land Rover did an excellent job when designing the interior of this Defender. The textures are all incredibly high quality. I believe this is Alcantara right here, a lot of leather. The seats are this really cool kind of like leather cloth combo, which I really like. That's perfectly, like I said, blends the utilitarian luxury nature of this car. Moving up to your mirror, it is a traditional mirror, and then if you flip this button, it does turn into a camera. That's becoming very common nowadays. I believe Land Rover was one of the first vehicles to implement this though, which is really cool. And then you have your buttons right here for your home link and your different settings and stuff in that regard. Above that, you have your dome lights, your SOS emergency, and then your sunglasses holders. But overall, really nice in here. Oh, one thing I forgot to touch upon was the gear shifter. This is very unique. So all these companies are going with these kind of unique, different gear shifters. So how this one works, you put your foot on the brake, and then there's a button back here. You pull it, and then shift into the gear you want to shift into, and then you could shift up. You want to go into reverse. You shift down if you want to go into neutral, and then you just tap this top button to go into park. Moving to the back of the Defender, the seats back here are just as comfortable as they are up front, and you have a host of cool and unique features back here. Starting out, you do get climate vents, which is always nice to see in the second row, but you get a full climate suite as well, which I think is amazing. I mean, when do you ever see full climate dials back here? You can even sync the climate to whatever's up front, which is very cool. And then you have two 12-volt outlets and 2 USB chargers back down here. And then you also have a USB charger in the seat, which I think is really cool. That's pretty unique. You don't see that all too often. And then you also have, as I mentioned earlier, your sensor for the blind spot. So if you're getting out, there's a little caution triangle that'll go off if you're getting out and there's a vehicle or something approaching in that blind spot, which is really useful for safety. Now this particular one does not have a sunroof, though that is an option. It does have the Alpine windows back here, which let more light into the cabin. And if you have the third row, this one isn't equipped with a third row, though it is an option to get on these Defenders. It really lets light in back there, and you have your own kind of cool upper window. I've always really liked these Alpine windows on the Defenders and the other Land Rovers across the years. Let's take it for a spin. So driving the new Land Rover Defender, now similar to the Toyota Supra I recently reviewed, I can't actually drive this one on the road. This is actually a pre-production show car, so I can drive it around the parking lot a little bit, give you my impressions of it driving, you know, at lower speeds, but unfortunately I can't really open it up on the highway. But I still wanted to give you guys a driving segment nonetheless for this. So my first impressions, really overall, it's incredibly smooth. The ride on this is just so sleek. It drives really well. I can open it up a little bit here. Its pickup response is pretty good. Yeah, this isn't bad at all. I really think with that adjustable air suspension, this thing really just, that's the best compliment I can give it. It's just so smooth and it handles so well, incredibly comfortably. Like it's buttery smooth. I don't know if I've driven anything that handles as well as this. The steering's quite responsive, and then when you gun it, it responds really quickly. The inline six in this is a very nice engine. So I think that's gonna wrap up this just brief driving impressions. Overall though, I'm very impressed with this Defender in all aspects and the elements. I mean, dude, it's freaking got a cooler in here so you can cool your drinks. That is cool. I'm sorry I'm ending on this pun. I feel bad. I apologize. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, I am a Christian and I love to connect with my audience. So if you have a prayer request, you can leave it in the comment section below. I really like interacting with you guys and I try to pray for everyone that I read. Also, I do a Bible verse to close out every video. This one is Numbers 14:8. If the Lord delights in us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land that flows with milk and honey. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care.